Softly and Tenderly was written by William Thompson, who lived from 1847 to 1909. He was an American composer from Ohio. He was unsuccessful in selling his songs to a commercial publisher, so Thompson started his own publishing company. He later expanded, opening a store to sell pianos and organs and sheet music. He was both a lyricist and a composer, and he ensured he would always remember his words or melodies that came to him at odd times. Here's what he said about that. No matter where I am, at home or a hotel, at the store or traveling, if an idea or theme comes to me that I deem worthy of a song, I jot it down in verse. In this way, I never lose it. I like this backstory because it reminds me that the Spirit is always at work, that inspiration can come at any time. Coming at unexpected times, unexpected places, reminds us to be listening, to be open, to be ready for what God may have for us. But I think this hymn specifically catches my attention right now because I've been falling asleep the past few nights to the sound of distant target practice and the percussive blasts of far-off fireworks. Independence Day is this weekend, with all the noise and activity, the fireworks and the picnics. This year we may not have as many crowds and parades due to COVID-19, but the celebrations have already begun. Amidst the colorful, explosive displays, the booms and oohs and ahs, amidst the noise of life, the news and chores and phone calls and internet, softly and tenderly, Jesus is calling. Sometimes we have to work especially hard to clear away all those other noises and hear God's voice, feel God's presence. Fireworks are such a beautiful and powerful reminder of our nation's history and tenacity. I've deeply enjoyed the chance to gather with countless strangers, collectively turning our faces toward the night sky, all of our faces illuminated by the same colors at the same time. The cover of darkness seems to diminish those judgments and assumptions that we otherwise inherently make of one another, and instead, we're simply left with a unifying pride and a unifying identity. Lately, it seems we hear so little of what brings us together and so much of what drives us apart. Power plays in every quadrant, political, racial, economic. It's exhausting. But today we're reminded that somehow underneath it all, there is a soft, tender voice calling to us, calling all those who are weary and feeling overwhelmed. Come home. Come home to safety. Come home to unity. Come home to peace. Not because we're entitled to it or because we're perfect. No, calling all sinners. There's an identity we all share. Sinners in need of God's grace and forgiveness. Calling all imperfect people who are worn out to come home. You have a place at God's table. You have a place in God's family, eternally. Come home.